The trauma pager went off at 2:11 a.m., the hour the ICU hum sounds like a tired lullaby. Nurse Nora Quinn had just finished resetting a ventilator alarm when the doors banged open and paramedics pushed in a gurney at full sprint. Dear viewers, welcome to our channel. Subscribe to receive more stories every day. Male, mid-30s, high-speed MVC, hypotensive, GCS 11, suspected intra-abdominal bleed. The lead medic rattled off. He glanced at the sticker on the monitor and added the name like a dropped scalpel. Adam Price. Nora's hands went cold. Her body moved anyway. Gloves, gown, cuff pressure, norepinephrine primed. She stared down at a face she knew too well. The man who'd left 2 years into her chemo, saying he couldn't do sickness forever. Same ash-brown hair, same stubborn crease in his brow. Different everything else. Blood in his hairline, skin the color of old paper. Adam, you're at St. Bartholomew's ICU, she said, voice steady. We've got you. His lashes fluttered. A confused sound escaped his throat. Dr. Patel, the night intensivist, rolled the ultrasound to bed. Fast exam, he said. Nora angled the probe. On screen, black pooled where it shouldn't. Free fluid in Morrison's, Patel said. Page trauma. Crossmatch 4 units. Start blood now. Blood's up, Nora said, already spiking the unit. The numbers on the monitor fought her. Pressure 78/48. Heart rate 132. She tightened the presser by a hair, felt the line's familiar vibration under her fingers, refused to think about the last time her body had belonged to machines. The doors flew again. A woman stumbled in. Perfect blowout now wild, sweater thrown over a silk dress. Adam, she gasped. Adam. Ma'am, Nora said, stepping between her and the tangle of tubes. We're working. Please wait outside. I'm Sloan, the woman said. I'm his fiancé. The word landed like grit in a wound. He texted he'd be home by midnight, then nothing. Is he? We're taking him to surgery, Nora said. You can sit in the family room. I'll update you. I have his paperwork, Sloan blurted, digging in her bag with trembling hands. He made me medical power of attorney. A notary stamp flashed when she unfolded the page. So if decisions. Thank you, Nora said, taking the copy without looking down yet. We'll come find you. Trauma swept in, led by Dr. Saeed. What V we got? Positive fast, hypotensive on presser, Patel reported. Let's go, Saeed said. Nora ride down. Elevator doors closed around them. Nora watched Adam's pupils, listened to the ventilator hiss, cataloged details because details are how you keep people alive. Fresh bruising along the left flank, a faint chemical scent under the blood, a plastic wristband tucked under the 4 securing tape. Not theirs. In the orange antiseptic painted his belly. Spleen's a mess, Saeed said moments after the first cut. Pack. Clamp. Okay. Nora stood at the head, tracking the arterial waveform and the rhythm of anesthesia's calm. The numbers at last began to climb. 80. Then 98. By 4:03 a.m., Adam was back in ICU, intubation gone, oxygen cannula humming. Nora secured lines, set the PCA, and finally unfolded the page Sloan had handed her. Medical power of attorney. Adam Price, principal. Witness. Marianne Johnson, registration clerk, Knights. Nora frowned. Marianne's signature, when real, was a quick impatient loop. The one on the form looked like a textbook sample. And Knights. Marianne worked days. Nora snapped a photo into the Legal Documents tab and flagged risk management. Witness signature inconsistent with staff records. Please review before honoring MPOA. She hit send, then went looking for answers that could live in facts. At the nurse station she called downstairs. Admin. This is Quinn in ICU. Can you confirm Marianne Johnson's schedule? Marianne. Day shift, came the reply. Been for months. Nora thanked them and hung up. A quiet stepped into her headset, the space where fear starts to explain itself. She pushed it aside and went back to the bed. Sloan hovered in the doorway, mascara smudged, a grief that looked like theater lighting her face. Can I? Briefly, Nora said. He's sedated. No phones, no forms in the room. Sloan nodded and eased to the rail. Adam, she whispered, brushing 2 fingers against his wrist like a claim. Something plastic crinkled. Nora followed the sound and saw a zip bag in the belongings bin. Wallet, keys, a small white pharmacy sack with a stapled receipt. Printed on the label, Zolpidem 10 milligrams. Patient: Adam Price. Picked up yesterday by Authorized V. Harlan. The name hit like an echo from another life. Victor Harlan, Adam's best friend, the charmer who always showed up when favors were expensive. He'd helped Adam move out, had held the door while Nora watched boxes disappear. Nora logged the bag into property and slid the notation into the chart. Home meds present upon arrival. Zolpidem filled yesterday by third party. Toxicology pending. She kept her face neutral when Sloane looked up. How long until he can make decisions? Sloane asked. When he's fully oriented, Nora said. Legal will review your paperwork at 8. It's valid, Sloane said quickly. We did it last month. Good to know, Nora said, voice even. We'll let counsel confirm. Sloane pulled in a breath so sharp it almost whistled. I'm just trying to help. So am I, Nora said. At 4:29, Adam stirred. His eyes opened to slits, found Nora's face, flinched, the way people do when ghosts choose hospital lighting. Mr. Price, Nora said gently. Do you know where you are? He swallowed. Hospital, he managed. Do you know your name? Adam, he whispered. Adam Price. Good. You had surgery. You're okay for now. His gaze slid to Sloane. Confusion tightened his mouth. Nora, he said, as if it belonged to the room. I'm here, she answered, the simplest fact available. His eyes watered. I didn't leave because... A wince cut the words. Locker. 213 don't let. He drifted off, breath evening under the narcotics pull. Sloane leaned in. Adam. Honey. He didn't answer. Nora clicked the PCA once within protocol and made a note. Patient arousable. Oriented to person/place. Speech fragmented. Statement re. Locker 213 and don't let. Documented. The doors at the far end opened again. 2 officers approached. Quiet shoes on waxed floor. Marianne at triage had called up. The car was a confirmed hit and run. They needed to log a brief status and speak to family. Is he able to answer questions? The taller one asked Nora. Not yet, Nora said. He's post-op and medicated. We'll come back at a decent hour, the officer said. His gaze landed on Sloane. You're the fiancé. Yes, she said, smoothing her hair. Sloane Keating. Where was Mr. Price coming from tonight? Work, she said. Beep. His office downtown. Anyone who might want to hurt him. She blinked. No. They left cards and stepped out. Sloane slid her phone from her sweater, screen lighting her face blue, and typed a message at speed. Nora pretended not to see. The unit is a church of pretending you didn't see. By 510 labs populated. Nora scanned them and stilled. Benzodiazepine detected. Z-drug detected. Not enough to knock an elephant down. Just enough to blur edges. Combined with a late drive, a curve, wet asphalt, it made an accident easier. She called Dr. Patel. Talk screens back. He grunted. Noted. Flag it for the police on their return. Nora added the flag and poured the last of the night coffee. Burnt and perfect. When she lifted the cup, something glinted in the belongings tray. A tiny key on a red tag, number stamped into metal. 213. Her pulse climbed the way alarms do. She checked the intake inventory. No locker key listed. The key hadn't been recorded. It must have fallen from the folded sweater when she'd moved the bin. Nora slipped the key into an evidence envelope and sealed it with her initials, then documented the find. If Adam said locker 213, and a key to 213 was here. Something waited in this building for whoever cared enough to look. At 7:58 a.m. legal arrived. A woman in a navy blazer with a laptop and the kind of calm that makes liars sweat. Nora handed over the photographed MPOA and her note about Marianne. The attorney scanned once. We won't honor this without verification, she said. Until then, only the patient decides. Sloane bristled. You can't. We can, the attorney said, not unkind. And we will, to protect him. Nora turned back to the bed. Adam's eyes opened again, clearer this time. Morning, she said. You're oriented. Do you want anyone making medical decisions for you? No, he said quickly. Not her. Nora documented verbatim, the way her ethics professor drilled into her. Chart the words, not the feelings. Adam swallowed. Nora, he said, quieter. If I don't wake up again, there's a folder in locker 213. Explains why I left. And who told me to? Who? She asked. His focus sharpened like a lens. Victor, he whispered. And a clinic. Harbor Research. He grimaced, breath hitching. They said you'd die if I stayed. Before Nora could answer, the unit doors parted. A man in a slate suit and careless smile strode in like he owned the tiles. Victor Harlan, older and smoother but exactly himself. He stopped dead when he saw Nora at Adam's bedside. Well, Victor said lightly, eyes skating over the machines to Nora's face. This is awkward. Nora's hand, steady all night, found the bed rail and held. The attorney was walking back. The officers were due any minute. The key in the envelope weighed more than metal. Visiting hours aren't open, Nora said, voice even as glass. And Mr. Price isn't taking visitors. Victor smiled, a thing with no warmth. Trust me, he said, slipping a business card onto the tray with 2 fingers. I'm not here to visit. I'm here to collect something he promised me. Nora didn't look at the card. She looked at Adam. His face had gone pale in a new, specific way. Fear you can't sedate. Nora didn't blink. Security, she said without raising her voice. Elena heard it from the desk and moved like a shadow. 2 guards materialized at Victor's elbows before his smile could finish being charming. Sir, visiting hours haven't started, one said. You'll need to wait. Victor held up empty hands. I'll wait, he said lightly, backing toward the family room. Don't mind me. He minded everything. His eyes flicked to Adam, then to Nora, then briefly to the belongings bin. He'd clocked what she'd already seen. Sloane reappeared, eyes narrowed, voice pitched into outrage. Who are you? An old friend, Victor said pleasantly. Victor Harlan. Sloane's mouth made a small O. You, she stopped. It wasn't surprise. It was the recognition people try to hide. Nora turned to her patient. Adam, she said softly. You're safe. I'll be right back. He nodded once, a careful movement that still found pain. The attorney, Jenna, was already speaking quietly with the officers who had just come back, her tone a cooled blade. We have concerns about document fraud, Nora heard her say. And about immediate attempts to influence the patient. Copy, the taller officer said. We'll hang around. Nora took the sealed envelope with the tiny key and slipped it into the pocket of her scrub jacket. Elena, cover me for 5? 7, Elena said. Nora walked fast, then faster down the main corridor, past the vending machines humming like tired insects. Employees only stairwell. Lower level. Past the cafeteria dark as a theater between shows. The staff locker room door opened to the stale warm smell of detergent and old coffee. Rows of beige metal faces waited. She found 213 midway down, waist height. The key slid into the lock like a fact into a sentence. She turned it. Inside, a manila folder thick with papers, a small prepaid phone with a cracked corner, and a bright red USB drive sealed in a plastic snack bag. A single sticky note clung to the folder's cover, in Adam's cramped printing. If I don't make a give to Nora, then the police. Her throat tightened and she didn't let it. She slid the contents into a tote bag from the locker floor and relocked 213. In the hall, a pair of nurses laughed about something petty and life-affirming. Nora wanted that sound back in her bones. She ducked into an empty consult room, locked the door, and dumped the folder onto the table. Contents spilled like a confession. Photocopies of emails, a notarized form changing a life insurance beneficiary from estate to Sloane Keating, a consent packet from Harbor Research Institute for a stress modulation program, signed by Adam Price and co-signed by Victor Harlan as care liaison, a non-disclosure agreement with liquidated damages that would bankrupt a small town, a hospital bill stamped paid by a Shell LLC, and 3 receipts from Lakeside Family Pharmacy, 2 for Zolpidem, 1 for Alprazolam, each authorized pickup v. Harlan. Taped inside the folder was a notary business card with a square stamp number inked at the corner. Nora recognized the number from the MPOA photocopy like a song you hate but know by heart. Same notary ID. Same stamp angle. Different dates. She powered the prepaid phone. It booted with the stubborn slowness of cheap plastic. 2 files lived on its tiny home. 1 Me3 and 2 Me3. She put in a single earbud, pressed play on the first. A man's voice, smooth, practiced, with a radio smile behind it. Adam, I'm Dr. Lyle at Harbor. We've reviewed Nora's biomarkers. Chronic allostatic load is her enemy right now. Adam's voice, younger than this morning, frayed. What does that even mean? It means stress, the doctor said gently, is a physiological toxin for her. The data is clear. The partner's stress amplifies the patient's cortisol response. Your presence, given your history, could literally hurt her odds. If you love her, you create distance. Temporarily. We can place you in a cohort that supports both outcomes. Victor will handle the logistics. Silence. Paper rustle. Adam again. You're saying if I stay, I kill her. I'm saying if you stay, you reduce her chances, Dr. Lyle said. And if you cooperate, Harbor can make her trial placement more favorable. We all want the same outcome. Then Victor's voice, sliding in like oil. Buddy, let me help you do the brave thing. We'll set up accounts. We'll take the heat. You just sign what they need and disappear a while. She gets better, you come back like nothing happened. I promise. The file ended on the sound of a pen uncapping. Nora stood very still. She knew manipulation when she heard it, made of true words bent to a wrong purpose. She scrolled to the second file and pressed play. Sloan this time, brittle and bright. The notary wants to see Adam. That's a problem. Victor. Then you don't use that notary. You find one who stamps what they're given. I'll text you a number. Sloan. And the policy. Victor. Finalized Tuesday if he signs the addendum. It pays out acceleration only if he survives 30 days post-incident. If he dies too early, the bank eats the debt and you get nothing. So keep him alive. Keep him quiet. Keep the MPOA in your purse. Sloan. You make me sound like a monster. Victor. I'm making you sound like someone who wants to not lose everything because her fiancé doesn't listen. Footsteps passed outside the consult room. Nora's heart hammered in two rhythms. One for the patient, one for the paper trail. She texted Jenna from the burner. I have evidence. Harbor research, beneficiary change, pharmacy pickups by Victor, audio files of coercion and MPOA fraud planning. In consult room B. Need chain of custody guidance. Dots appeared then, on my way. Don't send copies yet. Don't confront. Too late for don't confront. But not too late to be smart. Nora slid the folder back into the tote, killed the phone and headed for the unit. At the corner by the vending machines, Sloan stood with her own phone pressed to her ear, whispering hard. She found it, she hissed. I think she found something. Victor, I'm not going in there. Then you go. Fine. She hung up and pasted sorrow back onto her features like a makeup layer. How is he? She asked, stepping toward Nora. Stable, Nora said. Legal's reviewing your MPOA now. Sloan's smile thinned. I told you it's valid. Then you have nothing to worry about. Sloan's eyes flicked to the tote. What's that? Charting, Nora said. It wasn't a lie. It just wasn't all the truth. Back at bed 12, Adam was awake, pain-bright and purposeful. He saw the tote and something unclenched in his face. Nora leaned in so her words lived only between them. I found 213, she whispered. I have the folder. His eyes glossed, but he kept them open. I'm sorry, he breathed. Save it, she said, not unkind. You can talk later. You need air and rest and fewer vultures. He almost smiled. The second file. I heard it. A flicker of relief. Then, quick as a cut. The doctor at Harbor, he lied. Or he said truth sideways. Victor said it was for you. Then he said we had to protect assets. Then Sloan. Nora glanced toward the doorway. Victor had drifted back to the threshold like smoke, hands in pockets. The same habit of looking like a guest in his own crime. Jenna stepped around him, the officers right behind. Her blazer a flag of the institutional kind. Ms. Quinn, she said quietly. May we talk? Nora handed the tote to Jenna without drama. Her own initials still crisp on the evidence seal. I found these in a staff locker identified by the patient. I opened it with a key in his belongings. Chain of custody from me to you. Witnessed by officers Lynn and Gomez. The officers nodded. Victor's smile slipped a half-inch. Sloane's hand clenched around her purse until the leather protested. Jenna scanned the top page. Just enough to know what she was holding. She looked at Victor. Mr. Harlan, please step into the family room. We'll speak with you there. I'm not going anywhere, Victor said, the silk wearing thin. Adam and I have business. Your business just became ours, Officer Lin said mildly. Family room. Victor's eyes returned to Nora's face as if it were a map that would get him out of a maze. You always did love a scene, he said. You could have left this alone. I tried that once, Nora said. It didn't help. They moved down the hall. The attorney, the officers, Victor converting charm into speed. Sloane hovered, indecisive, then followed. Heels talking too loud on the floor. Nora turned back to her patient. The world condensed into the square foot that was his breath. She checked the line, the PCA, the dressings. Small, normal tasks like anchors. Why harbor? She asked when the room was quiet again. Adam stared at the ceiling. Because they said they could shift your trial arm. Get you the newer drug, the one with fewer cardiac side effects. They showed me charts. Said they knew your oncologist. They made it sound noble. Do you think they did? Nora said. Shift it. I don't know, he said, voice raw. You lived. Thought. I told myself I'd done the right thing. And then Victor kept showing up with things to sign. Sloane happened. She made me feel like I wasn't the worst person alive. By the time I realized what we'd really built, there was debt and paper and a version of me I didn't recognize. He swallowed. I was on my way to bring the locker key to you. Then the car. Hit and run, Nora said. He closed his eyes once, like a prayer without religion. He called me, Adam whispered. Victor. Said we needed to talk tonight, alone. I think he was behind me. Nora felt anger move through her like a clean flame. It asked nothing but to be aimed. The unit's overhead speakers pinged. Code Gray, security assist, in the family room. Jenna's calm voice on the phone to the desk. We need an officer in here now. A man's louder voice bled into the hall. Victor not charming at all. Elena peeked around the curtain. Everything okay in here? Better than out there, Nora said. Could you call Dr. Patel? I want his sign-off to keep pressures minimal so Adam stays clear for police. You got it. Nora turned to the monitor. Numbers behaved. Machines purred. She breathed until her hands forgot the old tremor. Jenna reappeared 5 minutes later. Hair slightly askew, calm unbroken. She set the tote on the counter and spoke low. We have enough to hold both the MPOA and the beneficiary change. Officers are detaining Mr. Harlan for questioning. Ms. Keating is considering her options. What does that mean? Nora asked. It means she's deciding whether to be a witness or a defendant, Jenna said. Do you want the pleasure of pressing play, or shall I? Nora looked at Adam. He was awake enough to hurt and hear. He nodded once, tiny but sure. Put it on speaker, he whispered. Jenna set the burner phone on the tray and tapped 2MP3. The room filled with Sloane's voice, bright and trapped. The notary wants to see Adam. That's a problem. Then Victor's. Then you don't use that notary. Keep the MPOA in your purse. The sound carried into the hall the way good disinfectant does. Quiet, thorough, impossible to ignore. Sloane had just stepped back into the doorway. Her face drained as if someone pulled a plug. For the first time all night, she looked like a person who had run out of script. Nora, Adam said, voice shaking. I'm sorry. You can be sorry later, Nora said, and reached for his hand for exactly 1 second. Right now, breathe. Outside, the family room door shut hard. A step. A radio crackle. A decision being made in someone else's chest. Inside, Nora's pager vibrated with a new order. Police would like patient statement when medically appropriate. She silenced it, looked at the clock, and looked at Adam's face. Ready to tell the truth? She asked. He nodded. All of it. She hit the call light for the officers and smoothed the sheet with a hand that had once learned to count days by infusion cycles. The sheet didn't need smoothing. Dignity did. So did the path ahead. The officers came in quietly, closing the curtain behind them. Officer Lin took out a small recorder, placing it on the tray next to Adam's chart. Mr. Price, before we begin, do you understand you're not under arrest and that you're giving this statement voluntarily? Adam nodded. His voice was still rough from the tube, but steady enough. Yes. Nora stayed by his side, checking his vitals while keeping an ear on every word. The machines kept a steady rhythm, each beep like a metronome for the truth. Start from the beginning, Officer Gomez said. Everything you remember leading up to the accident. Adam took a breath, wincing slightly at the pull in his side. 2 nights ago, Victor Harlan called me. Said we needed to meet about finalizing some business. I told him I was done signing things I didn't understand. He said it wasn't optional. He glanced at Nora before continuing. I've known Victor for years. He was there when I left Nora. He introduced me to Harbor Research. They told me that my being around her during chemo would hurt her chances. They had data, doctors, all this convincing language. I believed it. Or I wanted to. Nora kept her face neutral, but her hands stilled on the 4 tubing. Adam continued. Once I was gone, Victor kept finding reasons for me to sign papers. Investment deals, loans, things I barely looked at. Then Sloane came along. She knew about the debt. She said she could help me get out of it. Then I realized she and Victor were working together. How? Lynn asked. They wanted my life insurance policy changed, to make Sloane the beneficiary. Harbor's doctor made it sound like a formality, something to protect the household. Sloane pushed for the MPOA too. I didn't want to, but Victor said it was to keep me from making emotional decisions. Adam's hand tightened on the blanket. The night of the crash, Victor told me to bring the key to my storage locker. I think he knew I'd started putting everything together. I left work late, heading toward the hospital to give the folder to Nora. I remember headlights in the rear view getting closer. Then nothing. Do you believe Victor caused the accident? Gomez asked. I can't prove it, Adam said. But I know he wouldn't let me walk away with evidence. He said more than once that paper trails ruin good plans. Lynn exchanged a glance with Gomez. We have enough to detain him while we investigate further. We'll also be pulling traffic cam footage. Nora spoke up. The key was in his belongings. I retrieved the folder from locker 213 myself. It contained documents, pharmacy receipts, and 2 audio recordings where Victor and Sloane discuss forging the MPOA and timing the policy. Chain of custody is intact, Jenna added from the doorway, holding the tote. It's logged and in police evidence now. Gomez nodded. That'll help. He turned back to Adam. One last question. Do you want to press charges? Adam looked at Nora again. Yes. Against both of them. Lynn clicked off the recorder. Understood. We'll get your written statement later today. The officers left with Jenna. For the first time all night, the room was just the 2 of them. Adam's voice was quieter now. Nora, I thought I was protecting you. I didn't realize I was handing my life over to people who'd use it to hurt us both. Nora met his eyes. I survived, Adam. Not because you left, but in spite of it. Whatever you thought you were doing, they played you. He gave a small, pained smile. I know. I just didn't want you to think I walked away for nothing. She hesitated, then said, That part's over now. The rest is up to you. A knock at the curtain interrupted them. Elena poked her head in. Sloane's gone. Walked out with her lawyer. Victor's still in holding. And risk management says you're getting a commendation for catching the forged MPOA. Nora rolled her eyes. They can keep the commendation. I just want this unit quiet again. Elena grinned and left. Adam's eyes began to drift shut, exhaustion finally claiming him. Nora adjusted the blanket, checked the 4 one more time and let him sleep. Outside, the day shift bustled, unaware of how close one patient had come to being another name in a report. She slipped the small evidence receipt from her pocket, folded it once, and tucked it into her badge holder. A reminder. Sometimes the most important saves aren't on an operating table. They're in the moments when someone decides to look closer. And tonight she had. Dear viewers, thank you for watching. If you like this story, please subscribe to our channel to receive more stories every day. Share with us what you think of this story and tell us where you're watching from.